How do couples handle conflicts slash arguments healthily? It's really uncomfortable here.
Now it's getting to good. Welcome y'all to WJRK. Is everything recording up in this hit piece?
I'll just wait until you're done.
We thank you for hanging out here in the Atlanta, Georgia area.
Yeah, we're back.
And
We have shift starting top of
you
January.
like my radio call?
I'm done with it. I'm done with your radio call. If I would just sit here, you'd go on forever and ever.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
So we have to keep time limit on these.
hey, I thought you didn't like absolutes, but you went to time limits. We could go on for a while.
It's a range.
Oh, see, that's what I'm
A
saying.
range.
It's a
Here's
range.
the dog.
We got to
Roy.
get open up.
Roy, sit down.
Man, you're stealing my spotlight, Roy. Rah.
Lay down.
At least he didn't give them the butt shot today. Because he does like to give up a butt shot. Pick a question, any question, because here at In Deep Shift, we answer the questions that people have sent in.
Yes.
And we just have a conversation about it. So we'll see what happens on the day.
How do couples handle conflicts slash arguments healthily? Is healthily a word?
Healthily? I don't know. That's what the question was.
Yeah.
How do they deal with conflicts healthily? You just gonna put your head in the middle of every shot, aren't you, guy? Lay down. Well, I mean, the first thing is not to toss things and throw things. We can start there.
Yeah, the obvious.
We can start with the obvious.
Violence.
The Captain Morgan version of this answer. Like, not violence, not throwing things.
Yeah.
I think traditionally, how do I answer this? There is some level of what I would say usually not having raised voices. However, there are some people who just communicate loudly. So I guess I'll put a caveat
Are you talking
in there.
about me?
No, but you're on the verge. Not in arguing, no. Your normal conversations like, can we turn that down just a little bit? That's the whole difference is coming from a big family.
This morning, I'm yelling.
Yeah,
I'm talking loudly or whatever.
Yeah, you've gotten used to me saying it, so now you do it yourself, which is absolutely wonderful because it's, good. That's that differences thing. You came from a big family where yelling was just yelling and
it was talking. Like people weren't yelling.
Yeah, people weren't yelling. That was just loud talking, and there's a lot of conversations going left and right. And then we started dating. I'm like, do you have to talk so loud?
Use your inside voice.
All right, can we turn? And you're like, what are you talking about?
And
then you hung out with my family, and you're like, oh, I am the loudest one.
Your family, I'm like, what is everyone saying?
This ain't the country.
What? What did she say? I'm like, looking at, can you translate that?
You got your family has our family sounding like old boy off of Ted Lasso. Like, was that Ted Lasso? Maybe I'm thinking Old Girl off of Pitch Perfect. Couple different movies.
I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about on Ted Lasso.
I was thinking about Nathan Shelley because he had the soft voice at the beginning before he went heel. But anyway. But some people talk loud. So as long as it's not loud, if it's loud but not vitriol filled loud, I think is what I'm trying to get at there.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the biggest thing you're looking for, the biggest thing you want is you want there to be open communication. You want there to be safe communication when you're having this conflict. And so you don't want it to feel insulting. So you want the conflict to be about the conflict, not about the person. Mm-hmm. So I think this is one of those areas where people will think about how do you deal with conflict in the sense of a relationship. And once again, we go back into that thought silo where we think about a relationship as if it's different from business communication, or if it's different from when I'm working with DEI groups and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. The lines and the rules are still similar. Make your statement, make your I statement, make sure you're listening to understand, not listening to reply. Make sure that you're making your comment about the comment, not about the individual. These things apply over here in the work world, but they apply in the home world too. So,
right. You mentioned like yelling. So we have like volume of speech does not equate to like anger or frustration or anything.
Right.
Negative or uncomfortable.
Right. It's more tone would equate to the anger in the
Yeah, there's
emotion
like
than the
tone and
volume.
there's pressure and there's
Yeah,
speed of which
yeah,
someone speaks
yeah.
that would also like could steer towards the conflict and frustration and things
Right.
along those lines. Um, but there are things like there are like fair fighting rules.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
You know, stick to the topic at hand. Don't talk over one another or take turns speaking. Um, don't drudge up old stuff. You know,
Yes.
don't attack character.
Yes.
I can't. There's other ones, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I cannot recall what
Right.
they are. I also think something is like seeking to understand. Most conflicts are a miscommunication or a misunderstanding. A
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
So it's like seeking to understand. Also, you know, in therapy, we practice the acronym HALT, which stands for hungry, angry, lonely, and tired.
Okay.
And whenever you're experiencing one or a combination of those things, just halt.
Yeah, just stop it.
Like halt. Like we are not in our right minds.
Especially the first two together.
Yeah. We are not in our right minds. And that would not be a good idea to approach anything significant if we are experiencing one or
Right.
combination of
It's
those
better to
things.
come back and
Right. Because that creates the space for more misunderstanding and then ill feelings and miscommunications and then it's just like this trickle down effect or the snowball.
snowball. Yeah, yeah.
The snowball of like,
Pile on or however you want to phrase it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I would say like conflict and arguing are not wrong. And when I have people come into my space and they're like, well, we never fight. I'm
Something's
more
wrong.
skeptical
Something
when
wrong. If
people
you've
are
never
never
fought,
fighting than when they're having arguments.
it's like I said in my side chat that in order for and I you remember this. I would not tell you I love you until we had a fight.
Yeah.
I would not tell
And you said that.
I said it. I said it at the beginning.
Yeah.
I would not tell you I love you till we had a fight. Because that means we're not being fully open. That means we're reserving something. That means we're not I need to know how you fight because I've been previously married. So I need to know how you fight. If you're not fighting, I mean, it's healthy. And that's the other thing.
Yeah.
It is healthy to fight. Now, if your ratio is 80 to 20,
that's not
healthy. Yeah, that's not healthy. If you're fighting a whole bunch, then that's an issue. But I think fighting a whole bunch is the equivalent, like you said, of not fighting at all.
It's the other extreme of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, you know, equally.
You don't like black and white.
Correct.
You like living in the gray.
Correct.
Great. Here's a gray you can deal with. Here's a gray you can accept.
Why do I feel like I'm not going to like this?
Because I gave you an absolute, so now you're going to not like it on principle. On spec, you're going to be like, now. I think it is a very bad thing if you never fight, and I think it's a very bad thing if you mostly fight. Or I shouldn't say never, but if you primarily, your communication is almost always fighting, or it's almost always never fighting at all, if you're not in the gray of, yeah, we fight sometimes, then you're in a bad spot.
I don't think you're in a good spot. Yeah. If it's one of those extremes or the other. Yeah.
There should be fighting in a relationship. Yeah. There should be, because
it's normal and common that you're not going to always be feeling your best. You're not going to be in the best space physically, mentally, emotionally. You're going to be tired. Your fuse is going to be short sometimes. That's just normal and natural life stuff. It's the idea of like being angry is not wrong. And we want to talk about feelings like this is a good feeling and this is a bad feeling. And it's no, it's just comfortable and uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like we heard the other week, like unfavorable or favorable.
Favorable, yep.
Right? So they're not good, they're bad, but we've attached this idea of like, oh, that's a bad feeling. And it's like, no, like being frustrated isn't wrong or bad. It's just uncomfortable. The issue comes with what we do with it and how we approach it.
Right.
That's where the issue lies.
Right.
Or maybe why we're experiencing it.
Right.
You know, therein lies the issue. So if we're peeling back some of those layers and asking, because sometimes if we're getting like to the nitty gritty of things, and if it's like individual work, like, okay, what is this? Where is this coming from? And what does this emotion want from me?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And where is it coming from? So if it's in relationships and especially intimate partner relationships, and we're asking like why am I experiencing this? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
And we're assessing, okay, like how am I feeling today?
Yeah.
Is this also like bringing up stuff from, you know, experiences that I've had before? Like, let's say I was annoyed with you about something else, or I was annoyed about something else, but I never addressed it.
Yeah.
And now it's coming up again.
Yeah.
and I didn't address it, sometimes I hear things like, well, we were just in a good space. And so I didn't want to,
Bring it up.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't want to ruin it. And it's like, well, it's
Was
that
it
like good space
was it
is
a good
sort
space?
of just like smoke and mirrors because we have this underlying thing, or
Right.
the foundation is shaky, right? Because we've got it on top of this thing that's, you know, down here that we're not addressing.
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
not stable.
Right.
So to handle conflict healthily, as this says, you need to have, I feel like, open communication,
Okay. Define that.
being vulnerable, talking about things when they come up. I encourage couples to have regular team meetings.
Yeah.
Like have a regular check-in that says like, how are we doing? How have I been doing for you? How do you feel like you've been doing for yourself?
Yeah.
How have you been doing for me? Anything this week that's frustrated you? What do we need to address? And if you're having those meetings when you're not in the middle of feeling those feelings,
It's
they're
easy.
much easier
Yeah.
to discuss.
What is it? What's a team meeting though? Is it sitting down and having a very specific meeting? Is it just making sure you check in while you do something else? What's a team meeting?
Okay, so I'll just say like give our example.
Yep. Yep.
Right? So when we have a meeting, we need to have a meeting about something. Like let's just say, for example, going over finances.
Yep.
Right? We've talked about this.
Hmm.
Where does it not work for us to have those meetings?
In the house.
In the house. Not for you or because of you, but because of me.
That is not going to be in the house.
I get distracted.
Mm-mm.
I get I don't sit down very well.
Nope.
So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just like, oh, just let me like feed the dogs really quick, or like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm sitting over here and like, oh, I see some stuff on the floor. Let me vacuum really quick. Let me switch the laundry over. Let me yada yada yada, and like,
Everything. Let you everything.
yeah, everything but let me everything but all the things that I have not wanted to do forever.
All of a sudden they're happening right then.
Yeah, it needs to happen now. I'll just get it really quickly.
Right. Now I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'm talking.
Yeah. So for us, for me,
Yeah.
it needs to not be in the house.
Yeah.
I need to like not be hungry, so I need to have like something in my belly.
No H.
No H. And so what was my it needs to be time limited for me.
Yeah.
Because otherwise when it just goes like there's no end time,
Yeah.
I just get exhausted
Mm-hmm.
in that. And then I sort of like check out.
Yeah.
And so for me, it needs to be a place that's like off-site from our home.
Yep.
I've said this before. It needs to be visually pleasing.
Yes.
For me,
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be stuff to look at.
Uh-huh.
I need to have eaten, and it needs to have a time
It has time on it,
limit on it.
which is an hour at most.
At most,
Preferably 30 to 45 minutes with you. Closer we can get it under 30, even better.
Yeah. But when it comes, that's with the meeting for like finances where you have to go over like very specific things. Right? If it's a check-in, like we can do that in the car going someplace.
Yeah.
Right. We can do that very easily because we do it quite often.
Yep.
And so the more you're doing it, the faster you become at it, and the better you become at it, and the easier it is to sort of like drop down into that conversation and have it and express what's going on.
Yep.
So when I'm working with couples, I tell them, like when you first start having it, it might take a little longer because you're not used to it.
Yeah.
But once you start having it, it doesn't take nearly as long. It's a lot easier. It's a lot more beneficial. Because you just get to stuff quicker, I think, and you become more comfortable with it.
Yep.
And so then the stuff just goes faster.
Yep.
And you're practicing having these conversations. And you're practicing talking about the things that you wouldn't normally talk about.
Yeah.
And the more you practice something, the better you become at it.
So do you generally suggest people would do that just automatically to start out, hey, every 2 weeks, let's just check in? Or is it just as when we feel it?
I think when you're starting out, have a weekly check-in.
Okay.
Yeah, have a weekly check-in. Because you have all this stuff that you haven't checked in about for a long time or maybe ever.
So you have the backlog of stuff to catch up on.
Right. And once you're checking in on stuff, it's like mindfulness for yourself. Once you're checking in on stuff, you're noticing stuff more.
Yeah. Because you want to bring information to the meeting.
Yeah, you're noticing stuff more, whether it's, positive or negative or good or bad or just is.
Yeah.
Like you're noticing that stuff more because you know you're having a meeting. You know you're checking in. And then one, you don't harbor it as long. Like if something happens, you don't just hold on to it because you know
Yeah.
you've got this meeting if you don't talk about it then. But I think also then you're more likely to bring it up in the moment. Once you get more comfortable and these conversations become more natural and easier to both of you, or
In the
however
moment,
many
as
are.
in when you feel it, you don't have to feel the check-in to have this just to
Yeah, you don't
say,
have to wait and be like, so this happened 6 days ago,
gotcha.
and I've just been pretending that everything's fine.
So does a check-in then lose its value, or does a check-in have greater value?
I think the check-in then has greater value
Okay.
because it's preventative medicine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then we're preventing this stuff before it happens. So if I'm saying to you, like we've talked on here about the dishwasher, I was like, is this fool just waiting me out on the
Yeah,
dishwasher?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? And then we have the
She does
conversation.
use "full" as a term of endearment right there.
That's what you say.
Because I say
That's
"full"
what
all the
you say.
time.
That's what you say.
Full, ho,
Yeah, all the
ho
time.
chunk, heifer,
You call the dogs butthole all the
buttholes,
time.
buttholes.
That's when they want to go in and out of
This
the
heifer
house.
right here is
Yeah,
ringing the
that's not
bell
what you say.
nonstop.
Yeah.
Continue on.
So the more you're having it, the faster you get to that stuff, and you're
Yeah,
preventing stuff from building up, and you're preventing stuff from getting to the point where it boils over or spills over. You're preventing that resentment from putting it in your backpack and carrying it along with you.
right, right.
Yeah. So I think they're beneficial.
Okay. And you said something about halt, right?
Mhm.
So is there a rule? So there are a couple of different things. One that I'm thinking of halt, why I thought about it. So let's say you're doing weekly, and we're sitting down, we're having a team meeting weekly.
Mhm.
Is the team meeting pretty much set on a schedule, or is the team meeting just we know we're going to have one weekly, and then when you halt because for whatever reason, just that day, that time, at that moment, we're on the hungry, angry. What's the L one?
Lonely.
Lonely or tired, right? We're in that space. How long do you halt? How do you not reignite, but restart or start the conversation for the team meeting afterwards if you had to halt?
If you had to halt, well, the easy answer for that is once you've gotten food,
Mm-hmm.
once you've calmed down, once you no longer feeling lonely,
Okay.
and once you've had some rest.
So it could be that same day.
Mhm.
It could be just like I need a
Like
quick
if it's
nap and
hungry, then you need to get something to eat.
got you,
If it's angry, you need time to calm down.
got
If
you.
it's tired, maybe you need to take a nap. You
And
know.
if it's lonely, you need to call a friend.
Yeah, or maybe you need to spend time. Yeah, phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
Or
Or
maybe
just write for yourself. Whatever you do to get over lonely. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, whatever you do for that. But I think if it's scheduled is best
Mm-hmm.
because then you're building your schedule around it like you've said. Like we have a day of the week that's sort of like our running around getting errands and appointments done,
Mm-hmm.
and you've said like, oh, that's like my protected time with you,
Yeah.
and I don't schedule over it. So on
Yeah.
that day, for the most part, neither one of us schedule
Like
things
meetings, yeah.
outside. Yeah, because that's our protected time together, even if it is just running to appointments
Yeah.
or things like that. Um, it's just like taking care of personal stuff, so it would be like an outside meeting with somebody else.
Yeah.
Um, so if it's scheduled, then you can build your schedule around there. You also know when it's predicted,
Yeah.
and then you're also less likely to push it. And what I see sometimes in couples is that one of them will say, well, they never initiated it, so I never initiated it.
Yeah.
Where if it's like, okay, Sunday night at 6 o'clock, we're having a meeting at the dining table, everybody would like be there.
I got you. I
And if
got you.
you're sitting at
Nobody
the
has to initiate anything. You already
no,
know it's on the calendar.
if
Yeah.
you're sitting at the dining table at 6 o'clock and the other person or people haven't shown up,
How do you deal with that then?
then a conversation needs to be had about like, hey, what happened here?
Got you.
Is there avoidance? Is there something deeper going on?
Got
Is
you.
there, you know,
Got you. So the person who was
because
there
if you
just
can, if there's a
initiated at that
reason why
point.
you can't be there, then that should be communicated,
Right.
right?
Because that's communicating something way worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like let's assume that the scenario is you feel nervous about something. You not showing up to that time frame doesn't communicate you feel nervous about something.
Right.
It communicates something much worse, something about I don't care or this is not valuable to me or you're not valuable to me.
Right.
It's a very different And human nature, I think, in that situation would be that person thinks the worst automatically anyway.
The imagination is usually way worse than the truth.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. So,
So we have our fair fighting rules.
fair fighting.
And that's a simple Google. You could find the fair fighting rules.
Yeah.
We have increasing your communication on a normal, like when things are good.
Yep.
Because when you're talking about when things like aren't good, like also talk about when things are good.
Yeah.
You know, oftentimes we'll say to our friends, our friends or family, like, can you believe they did this? Blah, 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 blah. When you're in a conflict with your partner, but we're not going back and telling them when we've resolved it.
Oh, good point.
And so then our
Good
friends
point.
and family have this bad taste in their mouth about our partner.
Yeah.
Because we haven't gone back and said, hey, actually, miscommunication.
Yep. Yep.
Everything's squared away.
Yep.
All good. We're not doing that part.
No. It's like that that error on the news. Oh yeah, that story was reported incorrectly.
Yeah.
We blew it up for 24 hours when it was bad, and then we came back and said
Then
one
we
line.
put a
like,
little thing on
one
our,
line,
on
right,
our
right.
website 3 days later.
At the bottom of the homepage.
Yeah.
That story was reported in error, and that's all you ever say,
Yeah.
And oftentimes that's going back, miscommunication, misunderstanding, having difference of expectations, and having different definitions. Those 3 things are the source of so much conflict.
Oh, different definitions of words. Like that comes up in our relationship quite
All
often.
the time. That's why I always say it.
Yeah. Because you're a wordsmith.
Yeah.
And I am not.
Yeah.
And if I don't know like what the explicit definition of a word is, I ask you. Also, like we have nuances and colloquial stuff. So
on top of
that. So for example, when you were with your band, stop. No, this is a different one. With your band, you were talking about, hey, this stuff needs to go. This stuff needs to be put it in the staging or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. You said it was the word staging.
Yeah.
So to me, I was like, oh, this design element, this is how you stage it. Right?
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
So this needs to go here because this is where he said he wanted it, and this is how you stage it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where your definition of that is this is the space in the room where when we're unloading everything, this is the staging.
That's the staging area, not the stage.
Or not even, this wasn't even the band stage. This was staging, and you had some lights or something.
Yeah.
This is how we stage the lights.
Yep. Oh, yeah. So you have the staging area, then you have how you stage the light, and then you have the physical stage itself.
Yeah.
And all these versions of stage are different.
Yeah. So you had this whole document that I had been looking at, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me or whatever. Because when you were saying staging, I was like, well, that means like they go here, throughout the room.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But to you, it was staging area.
Yep.
Not the stage.
Not the stage.
Not how they're staged.
Not how they're staged.
The space on the floor, which you had deemed the staging area.
Mm-hmm.
So something as simple as that.
Yep.
I had read this whole document that you'd put together, and I was like, wait a minute. Finally, I was like, what do you mean by this? I was like, we are working on 2 different definitions.
Right.
What do you mean by this?
Yeah. I mean, drop stuff here.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, because staging to me is different. Like you stage a house, you put the stuff where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So even just having different working definitions of things creates conflict.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but if you don't have the ability and haven't done those meetings and have the ability to say, what the heck does this mean? I mean this. What do you mean you mean that? What do you mean do I mean that? Well, this is what stage means to me. Oh. Put that there.
That's a normal conversation.
Oh, that's every day for us.
Yeah, that's a very normal conversation for us. You said stage it, so I staged it.
That's every day for us. That's not what I meant by stage. Well, what did you mean by stage?
Agree to disagree.
You just wanted to put that one in there. Oh, yeah.
But that's how it shows up for us. So even things, that's a very like low stakes example of it.
Yeah.
But those are things that create conflict in relationship. I don't care if it's intimate partner. I don't care if it's family, friends, coworkers, whatever.
Yeah.
Those things create conflict.
Right. And if you remember We have conflicts every single day.
Mhm.
Every single day. If you think of conflict as a bad thing, people are like, oh, that's bad. If you think of conflict, it just means we have a difference of thoughts or opinions and we just need to resolve and get on the same page with them. It's not as bad.
Mhm.
It's natural to have multiple conflicts per day because we are two different people with two different backgrounds doing two different things at same time in two different places or whatever, right?
Right.
And so we're frequently moving through all these processes in our minds and in our lives that aren't always going to link up like this. They don't link up just because they link up. They link up because we choose to help them link up with one another. If we left them to their own volition, they'd be down here.
I've heard the phrase too, like ages ago in life, and I use it and I remember it. Without conflict, there's no growth.
Yeah.
And I recently had someone say, without roughness, there's no learning, or something to that effect. I
Mm.
wrote it down, so I'd have to like go look.
Without roughness, there's
Without
no
roughness,
diamonds.
there's no learning.
Yeah.
And like, so that conflict is where there's also opportunity for growth.
Yeah.
And if we look at it like that, then it has a different, it's more positive than it is negative.
Oh, it's way more positive than it is
Right.
negative. That's like there's no rainbow without the rain.
Yeah.
Word up, Dolly Parton. That was I can't remember what song that was, but or statement that was, or oh, without the rain you don't have flowers.
Yeah.
But the idea being that yes, the conflict, if you fear it and allow it to be this big thing, can definitely be the big thing. If that's the expectation you have of conflict and that's what people want, that's what they'll get. But if you look at conflict as okay, we just need to. My mind is jumping because you talk about conflict, you think about conflict. I'm thinking of sandpaper
Mm-hmm.
and just the use of sandpaper.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that sandpaper is rough as crap, but it'll make that surface smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Or the idea that all the conflict plays in just so many metaphors and so many type of visuals. The idea, if you want to, I remember my father cleaning the hubcaps, and the first time I saw him use dirt to clean up hubcaps, and that'll make your rims so clean. It's got a lot of stones that'll scratch the crap out of them, but dirt can make your rims and your wheels real clean. You just rub some mud on them, and then wash them off, and all of a sudden that grease is gone. So the conflict is not the conflict. Conflict. The conflict is not. It's not as bad. The conflict does not have to be bad because we have these expectations of making conflict bad. If conflict is just a normal part of the communication, then resolving the conflict is just another normal part of communication, so that you can get to that point of healthy managing your conflicts healthily in a healthy manner. Is a way I'd probably prefer to say that.
Do you think that, so, this question, how do you handle conflict/arguments? Do you think that there's a difference between an argument and conflict?
I think an argument is probably an elevated conflict. I think
I think
that I
argument
think that
too, like, deems verbal. Would you say that?
I do think argument probably deems verbal, at least the connotation of it is more verbal.
Yeah.
But I definitely think argument, the idea of argument is the visual of that is going to be raised voices, lots of vitriol,
Feverishly texting.
feverishly spinning out or texting. Because I do consider texting is one of those that I'm not sure if I consider it verbal or nonverbal yet. Because I know it's typed, but in the essence,
I would consider it verbal because it's someone's
that's my thought with it.
voice.
That's my thought that texting is verbal communication. And if texting is verbal communication, specifically because it cannot communicate tone or body language. So if you have verbal, tone, and body language as your three things in the communication pie, right? And the one that has the least level of explaining the full picture is which one?
Written?
No,
What'd you
out
say?
of verbal.
Sorry, I forgot what you said.
I know. We've gone too far. You aren't listening to me now. This is that whole thing we were talking about the team meeting being short. You are looking at me like, oh, how long is he talking? I'm ready to sign off. I'm done. I got to hold out because cameras are on. But if cameras weren't here, I'd have been up out of this chair like 5 minutes ago. And he's extending this side because I really want to get to it.
And you're still extending it. Just get to it.
That's why I did it.
Do it.
I will help you out. I said
So you
verbal.
can see this is a conflict that we have. Get to it.
Verbal, tone, or words, verbal, tone, and body language. Those are the three in the pie. Verbal and tone are something like, if I'm trying to remember my math correctly, but I believe it's like 7 or 8%. The other 93 is your tone and your body language, with your body language being the biggest element. And so if communication via text is the equivalent of verbal, that means you're missing 93% of what somebody is saying through text. And if you're verbally going like this back and forth and the bloop, and bloop, and bloop, and the three dots pop up as soon as something gets sent, you're feverishly having this argument via text without any level of understanding of the tone or the body language associated with that, which means that the person reading has to just, and the person who's receiving the message always determines whether the message is a positive or negative anyway. But at least in person or over the phone or something, you have more information to decide whether that information is positive or negative. But if the receiver is only getting it via text and the text is coming back feverishly fast and they're already in a bad mood, or they're naturally going to go to a negative space.
Dysregulated.
Right. Naturally dysregulated, or they're naturally going to go to this space where things are normally unfavorable, then the whole communication in that verbal argument via text is going to be taken in a pejorative manner. It's going to be the same thing in person, but at least you have more information to calm it down. And so that's where it goes to that thing of feeling like the argument is more of this high level, high intensity spacing for a conflict. But if you have a conflict every day and acknowledge your conflicts every single day and acknowledge that you have conflicts every day, doesn't mean you'll always acknowledge every conflict or do that successfully. But if you go into the day knowing you're going to have a conflict, so you'll just hit your conflicts when they come and try to do a better job of managing them on a daily basis, then you'll get to the point where you get to avoid arguments. Because we have disagreements. We have fights. We rarely have arguments.
Yeah.
You know, we rarely have the argument like that. We'll have disagreements. We have conflicts all the time. You're ready for me to shut up now. Look at you, you're laughing because I'm right. I know, girl. I'm done.
Thank God. That was a long ride.
Ooh.
So back to the if you're skewing towards excessive arguing and excessive conflict,
Yeah.
and it's unsafe,
Yeah.
and or unsafe,
Yeah.
or never having an argument or a disagreement or a conflict.
Yep.
We probably need to address some things.
We probably
Over
do.
here, I'm like, somebody's who's giving up their will. Somebody's always giving up.
Somebody's giving up their will.
Somebody gives up their will and like gives in all the time. So yes, there are ways to handle it in a healthy manner. It doesn't mean that things are bad or terrible.
Yeah.
You know, you're just learning the nitty-gritty parts of relationships and communication and getting to it.
Cool. All right. I mean, that's good.
If you need a third party, come
We're
see me.
here.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. We're
Right.
done. I think a lot
Handle
of
your
shift
conflicts.
happened today. A lot.
We got into a lot of shift.
A lot of shift.
Yeah. Real comfortable here.
Now it's getting to get good.